Hello YouTube, Millennium X17 here, and I have a very awesome update for my gaming computer. See, ever since I built it, there was something wrong with it that's been bothering me, and some people might find it childish, but when I built it, the case said Crossfire X on the side. And of course, to save money when I first built it, obviously being graphics cards are very expensive, I only got one graphics card. And therefore, it's not Crossfire X, which, does it really need to be? Probably not. Is it going to be? Oh yeah. It's going to be. So, here lies the thing though. Something interesting happened. Like 6 months after I have the 7970 gigahertz edition, from Gigabyte. And what happened was, it was a little interesting. I got the card, and then like literally 6 months later, the AMD just came out with the R9 line and dropped the 7000 series. Completely off the face of the earth. You can't find them anymore. And I'm sitting here and I'm a little bummed, and I'm thinking, do I really want to take the chance at buying a either used or refurbished graphics card? I'm nervous enough as it is with this brand new card. And I'm thinking, do I really want to buy a used or refurbished? Like, that's a whole nother risky venture that I'm not even willing to spend a couple $100s on to find out that it doesn't work, and at which point in time you'd be screwed. So, I was a little bummed out about that, and I wanted to do Crossfire X. I was thinking at least double Crossfire, if not triple, eventually. But the problem is that they came out with the R9 line, dropped the 7000 series, and I'm thinking, well, that sucks. Well, here's the thing. A couple months ago, it comes to my attention that the R9 280X is effectively a rebranded 7970. It actually lands perfectly in between this, maybe not perfectly, it's in between the 7970 and the 7970 gigahertz. It's like here-ish, where, you know, it's like a little below, which is why I also went with the Gigabyte one, because it is a little bit slower than the stock Gigabyte 7970 gigahertz edition, which is what I have in my gaming computer. Now, this card apparently is just the same thing, only rebranded. Now, why would they do that and not just keep the 7970 going? Again, I don't understand the thought process, the mindset. It doesn't make any sense. It's a little frustrating, but nonetheless, we are now going to try some Crossfire X action. After a very brief overlook at the box and a quick unboxing, I mean, it's a card. How much is there really to unbox? But either which way, we're going to go to that right now. Okay, so as you can see, the box itself is pretty plain. You know, it doesn't really need to be a whole lot of fancy. It says what it is. R9 280X. Is it 3000? Is it 2 or 3 gigs? 3 gigs to 3072 meg GDDR5. This is apparently an overclocked version, which this is the one from Gigabyte that's very, very close to the specs of the 7970 gigahertz that they made. So, you know, front of the box, AMD Gaming, AMD Radeon. Back of the box, a lot of marketing nonsense. Wind force, basically they have 3 fans and a cooler. That's great. All the stuff that it allows you to do, pretty much. Anyone who really wants to look at the stats on this, you know, they're available online. I don't really need to go over them ad nauseum, you know, but the box itself, really not all that much to it. But, you know, it doesn't need to be. So, DirectX 11, very good. And the important thing, though, is that this is a rebranded 7970. It's still 384-bit, 28 nanometer. I believe it's called the Tahiti chipset is what they call it. So it is still the same card. And if you look at the end of the card, which we're going to do eventually, it looks identical to the 7970 gigahertz. So everyone, from all the research that I've looked into, it should work. One can hope. So anyway, let's quickly take this out of the box and take a look at it. You know, and there it is. It's not much to unbox, really. Again, if you really wanted to see, still in the static bag. 3 fans, just like the 7970 that they've made. The end, you can't really see it through the static bag, but, you know, it's a graphics card. You know, I'll show you to you out of the static bag here in a moment when I start to put it in. But yeah, so next up is pretty much, and down here you got, what do you got here? Power adapters. Is that mini to, what is that? I forget what it's even called. I never even use it. I don't even know why they still... This has to be a newer thing, because I don't even have a... My monitor is HDMI. More power adapters. That's going to be necessary, because I'm going to need that in a minute. And again, guide. Does anybody even read these things anymore? I mean, seriously. And then there's the CD drivers and what have you. Everyone says to go off the website, which is probably the best. Latest drivers are on there. So... that's really all there is to it. I mean, it's definitely well packaged. I could say that its foam is fitted to the card itself. So they definitely did a good job with that. So definitely not too much to be upset about there. So yeah, now we can get to the exciting part and put that in the computer. Shit. It's like very little dust in here. That's aggressive. Shit. Alright, just want to take a quick second and show everyone again. 7970 gigahertz edition. Gigabyte. Pretty awesome. Cooler. You know, the one thing though that I do have to say though is it's fucking impressive. This case is astonishingly good. There's like almost no dust or dirt or cat hair or anything in this case at all. Like the filter on the front, there's actually a filter up here that prevents stuff from getting in, and these are all exhaust fans, so it actually is keeping the dust and dirt and shit out, and it did astoundingly well. I'm actually very impressed on it. It's been like a year since I've really opened this up and gone in and done anything in here. 32 gigs. Crucial ballistics. Tactical low profile is how I can get a fan over them without blocking the first RAM slot. But yeah, there's the original card. The new one's about to go in, but yeah, there's no dust in here. It's amazing. No, and again, I'm here in the Northeast. It's a hot, humid day. I got my air conditioner going. I don't have an anti-static strap on or anything. As long as you touch the case, it's nothing that I would really concern myself with. It's something to be aware of, but it's something that I would freak myself out over. So, anyway, back to it. Here comes the graphics card. Alright, there we go.
It's about as in as it's going to get. Crossfire bridge, that went on nicely. The only thing that makes me worried, is just a little nervous about these things, is that and I really don't have that much experience PC building, but it just, to me, seems like the graphics cards snap into the PC board really stiffly. They're hard to push in, and it just makes me a little nervous about, pushing down on that. That's not cheap. And it's not even the most expensive graphics card. That's the most absurd part about it. But, there it is. 7970. Overall, the 280X is a little bit longer. I think the heat pipes and such are longer, but the boards are the same length. So, there it is. Crossfire, Crosshair 5 Formula Z motherboard. I could squeeze another one on here. And, of course, LEPA G1600, 1600 watt power supply. Definitely overkill, but then again, I went with that power supply so that I don't even have to worry about that. There's plenty more connectors. I got like 5 or 6 more of these things. It's ridiculous how many cables these things come with. Now, obviously, cable management in this case, not maybe the biggest deal, but it's not exactly a showpiece. But yeah, you can definitely squeeze another one in if this works great. We'll see how that goes. Is it necessary for what I do? Probably not. Would I? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens now, though, because now it's the part that makes me nervous. We gotta turn it back on now. So, let's see what happens.